Let's start triangle congruence with congruent triangles. Alrighty then, let's go. Lesson 4.1 is triangle congruence. Understand the third angle theorem. Name and use corresponding parts of congruent triangles and prove triangles congruent using definition of congruent triangles. Mastery Connect warm-up number 1, using triangle X, Y, Z that is given. What's the measure of angle Z? I'm going to pull that triangle out because there's stuff in there we don't even need. We're looking for angle Z. The acute angles of a right triangle are complementary, which means they add in 90 degrees. So if I do 90 minus the 24, I am going to get angle Z is 66 degrees. B is our answer. Mastery Connect warm-up 2, using triangle ABC. A right triangle there. That's given. Measure of angle B is 60 degrees. Let's mark that. Let segment CD be a line segment that's perpendicular to the hypotenuse. And it's marked that it's perpendicular. We have right triangles there. What is the measure of angle DCA? So right there, the little starred angle, not the full right angle there, but that starred angle is what we're looking for. Let's pull out triangle ABC, the big triangle. And the acute angles of a right triangle are complementary, so we can figure out that's 30. And I put it on both diagrams. So let's focus on this small triangle. I'm going to pull it out. That is triangle ADC, and we know that's 30. And we know the one we're looking for is an acute angle of a right triangle. So those are complementary. So 90 minus 30 is 60, and the angle that we're looking for is 60 degrees. Option B. Congruent triangles. Triangles with the same size and shape. This means all corresponding parts, sides, and angles are congruent. When triangles are congruent, we can write a congruency statement, and we've got to match all corresponding angles and sides. So first of all, A has one arc, so does D. So angle A is congruent to angle D. They both have one arc in them. Angle B must be congruent to angle E, and they both have two arcs, so that's great. Angle C and angle F both have three arcs. So there's our congruency statement. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. We matched all corresponding angles. CPCTC, what is that? Corresponding is the first C. P is parts. C again is congruent, and then triangles are congruent. So corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So if we know two triangles are congruent, then we know that each pair of corresponding parts are also congruent. We have a congruency statement. This is enough all by itself, but we're also given a diagram. So if the visual helps you more, then use the visual. Sides might be easier using the visual. Angles. Angle J is congruent to angle P. They are the first one listed in our congruency statement for each triangle. Angle K is congruent to angle Q, and those two in the diagram both have two arcs. The angle J and angle P both have one arc. Angle L is congruent to angle R. They are the last angles listed in our congruency statement, and they are in the diagram the ones with three arcs. Let's do the sides. So segment JK is congruent to segment PQ. So JK in the diagram has 1 slash. PQ also has 1 slash. Now, of course, you can name it JK or KJ. You can name the other segment QP or segment PQ. Doesn't matter, it's the same segment. Next one, 2 arcs, or excuse me, 2 slashes. Segment KL is congruent to segment QR. Once again, you can flip-flop the letters in the names. And the last one, segment JL is congruent to segment PR, and both of those have 3 slashes on them. So we need to write another congruency statement. So you can do the first triangle in any order you want to, but make sure you match it up. So I did triangle JLK. So if I look up at my original congruency statement, I use the middle, the last, and then the first. So I need to use the middle angle, the last angle, and the first angle in that congruency statement. So triangle QRP. Continuing on with congruent triangle examples, we have 1 and 2 here. Number 2, given triangle KPM is congruent to triangle AYC. That alone is enough information to figure out everything in those blanks A through H. But let's mark some things on the diagram if that can be helpful as well. Angle P is congruent to angle A, so I just put a gray dot in each of those. Angle P is congruent to angle Y. Those have green dots. Angle M congruent to angle C, I put in blue dots. So segment KM, first and last, would go with first and last, but KM's between the blue and the gray. So on the second figure, between the blue and the gray is A, C, or C, A. It doesn't matter which one. Let's see. Segment CY is in the second triangle that's listed. The last, then the middle. So same pattern, last, then the middle. And CY is green and blue. Those 2 angles, it's in between those 2 angles on the triangle diagram, so that would be MP, which is also what shows up in the congruent statement. So segment MP is congruent to segment CY. PK is the middle, then the first. So that would match with the middle and the first. And KP is between gray and green, and between gray and green is A and Y, or Y and A. Doesn't matter. There we go. Angle Y is congruent to angle P. Angle K is congruent to angle A. Angle ACY. We don't need a 3-letter name. The triangles are not touching each other. So I just went with angle M, and that's so much easier now that we matched them up with the colors over there. Triangle MPK. Let's see, MPK, blue, green, gray, matches with blue, green, gray, CYA. Triangle YAC, green, gray, blue, matches with green, gray, blue, PKM. We have a triangle congruency statement again. Triangle STW is congruent to triangle BFN. Once again, that there is enough information to match everything up. Let's see, length of segment BN. Let's do congruent triangles. So A matches with B, T matches with F, and W matches with N. And I have those different colors, so that can help us as well. BN is between the gray and the blue, or gray and the green, excuse me, and between gray and green is a 9. So that's going to be 9 centimeters. TW's between the blue and the green, between the blue and the green is 14 centimeters. Length of segment BF is got to be the 17 centimeters. Now, we already have things matched up for this. So measure of angle W must be 82 degrees because it matches with the measure of angle N. Measure of angle B, gray, matches with measure of angle S. So that's got to be 67 degrees. Measure of angle F, well, we only have two pairs of congruent angles in there, but we can find the third. All three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 180 degrees minus 67 degrees minus 82 degrees is 31 degrees. So 31 degrees goes in those, and measure of angle F is 31 degrees, just like measure of angle T is 31 degrees. Third angle theorem. If two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle, then the third angles of a triangle are also congruent. That makes sense. If all three angles add up to 180 degrees, and we're subtracting out the same thing in both triangles, and then subtracting out another same thing in both triangles, what's left has got to be equal to each other. That's third angle theorem.